Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th installment of the Rocket League interview series. And today, we are here with the one, the only, the Seismic White, the montage god himself. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty well. You can just call me Seismic.
Seismic. Okay, Seismic. So we're just gonna get right into this. First question: how did you get into making montages, and how did you made montages for other games as consistently as you do in Rocket League? And if it was, what game was it?
Uh, so I've been quite ingrained in the world of CG and everything. I went to college for it, 3D graphics and animation, and as a result, a lot of times you'd see this type of things. And near the end of my college career, I decided to pick up After Effects, just for the hell of it. And about a month after that, I made my first video, which was League of Legends. It's actually on my channel as an ADC. And I stopped. That's kind of when I first wanted to get into it, because I was like, you know what? I see all these montages, and I feel like I can add something more professional to it. Put these graphics and all these different things, and so I tried to do that. And from that point, I ended up I took a break because I kind of got sick of League of Legends right after that. I don't know why. I just kind of got burnt out, I guess. And when Rocket League came out, I realized I had a very unique opportunity to kind of make a name for myself. The only person that was doing montage at the time was Fisho Kid. Well, actually, it's pronounced Fusho after talking to him, but everyone says Fisho. And I was like, all right, he has his style. I want to go for the style to make things, very clean. I've talked to him a bit about this, is that he makes these videos as if, you're there, you're in person, you're, looking to watch, as if you're on the sidelines of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make it as if you're, I guess, maybe watching a movie of sorts. Which is, I mean, both are different styles, and both have their, appeal, so there's nothing wrong with what he's doing in any regard. But yeah, I think it was just a desire to make something I haven't seen before.
Okay, that's cool. So, off topic, I didn't join the game. I don't know why.
So you didn't?
Yeah, so if you want to just head out
I'm
to the
out.
main menu, sweet. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry. Anyways, continue on with the next question. What was the first montage that you made that you saw, that you looked at it and just kind of it really blew up, and you're like, man, this is a great montage? Which one was it kind of most memorable for you? Was it the League of Legends one, or was it in Rocket League?
The first one that blew up, actually, I led off with the Up and Away video, which was myself, Bowser, and Sykes. It was two guys that I met very early on in playing this. And right out of the gate, that instantly, I think, got like 10,000 views. It hit the front page of the subreddit. When it's I think I had, I don't know, yeah, I got around 10 to 15,000 views on that.
That's awesome.
And it was funny because I made a very clickbait title. It said, "Now this is an aerial montage," which is really terrible, I admit. And I was talking to Fisho actually, and he goes, "I didn't click on it for the first 3 days because of that title." But then he's like, "I watched it, and I was like, this guy's gonna put me out of a job." And but yeah, so that was the very first thing. But the one that really kicked it off was probably when I did. After the bowling video, right as soon as I did the Kronovi one, I had Channel of the Month, which there was some slight. I was moving at the time, and so I wasn't able to produce as much content as I want that month.
Uh-huh.
But I did the Kronovi video, and then my bowling video got featured. So the Kronovi video just rocketed up to around 50,000 views. I went from 1,000 subs to about 5,000. And so I think that was kind of really. When people were like, oh, he actually makes some, decent stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the bowling video. I was super confused what it was at first. I'm like, did they put in? Because I didn't watch it. I was like, did they put a new bowling feature? I don't see anything. And I watched it, and I just saw it was very clever. And I just felt like an absolute idiot.
I actually get that quite a bit from my videos. People are like, wait, is this? So when I did the Time Warp video, it was pretty funny because people were asking wait, can the DeLorean actually do this? Is this the DLC? No, guys, this isn't, what it is.
When are they going to release the limited boost DLC? When is this going to become a pay-to-win? I can't wait for that to happen.
Right.
It's my favorite part about games.
Don't get of 50 boost.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next question is, what is your favorite part about making these montages?
Part of it is just reactions, I guess. But that's with anything, you know. It's people. As long as people like have good reaction to them, I'm very happy about it. I've quite surprised at the overwhelming positive reactions. Most, you know, the like percentage is usually like around like 97, so that means a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I think outside of that is just being able to take something, just a raw replay, and be able to mess with it to convince people, like cinematic lying, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But it is completely a passion project for me. I get a lot of requests for people to like say, "Hey, well, can I pay you to make a video?" And I constantly say no. The reason for that is because I find that if it gets to that point, I'll see it as a job. If I'm not passionate about the project, it'll show.
Okay.
And so I choose. I'm sure, like I saw someone on this, like the subreddit ask, you know, how do I choose which people I? It's part of it is skill, because people want to watch. Like, people don't watch just some random schmuck, you know, missing balls constantly.
Like me, in this game.
Complete coincidence.
Complete coincidence. Not
it's
planned.
Not that I'm trying to be making a whole like elite thing, like, oh, only you're not good enough. But that's kind of how I choose it, simply because it's what's appealing to people. People want to see, like, you don't go watch like kids football games. Like, you want to go watch NFL, you know?
Yeah. You don't want to go watch a Pee Wee game with a bunch of 10-year-olds?
Exactly. Yeah, and so if I'm passionate about what I'm gonna do, I'll just go full bore with it. So that's how the bowling thing came up. Someone mentioned on like a Reddit, someone's like, "What if you did like bowling or something?" And I was like, that. I know. Look at see the chat there. But no, I mean that's how I choose my stuff. But yeah.
Okay. So on to the next one is, what is the most difficult and easiest part of the process? I guess easy is just kind of probably a bad term.
Hardest would be getting clips from Sad Junior. The reason I say that is, oh, nice block. I asked Sad Junior, said, "Hey, I want to do a montage of you," and he goes, "Here's 500 clips."
Wow.
And they weren't sorted. That was the kicker. So I'm watching these clips, and some of them are him just like staring at a wall. Of him just like messing around with the ball, trying to figure out how to dribble or something, and I was just like, "What is happening?" But in all reality, I guess the hardest part is, yeah, probably just, I don't know, because it's all part of the same process. I guess the longest, most time-consuming is usually masking. That's not hard. It's just tedious.
Okay.
And the easiest part though, probably, I don't know, my title screens. I kind of just, I'm like, oh, I want to do this, like the end credits, but yeah.
Okay. So this one's, we move on to the community questions. This one's from the Reddit thread. This one's from the user In the West. So what do you do for a living?
I do film and games as an environment artist. Before my current job, I was working at Pixar, and for this, now I'm currently working at id Software, working on Doom as an environment artist.
Cool. Okay, so how do you choose your montage topics? We kind of did a little bit in the earlier questions, but exactly what kind of goes into choosing a montage topic or theme? Is it a lot of community based, like what you're saying before about the bowling, and or like do you just see something and you're like, wow, I should really make a montage about that? So how do you go about choosing your
It's all very random,
It is?
except for a few things. I'll know that, like, hey, I do a lot of work with Cosmic now Cosmic. So I'll be like, oh, I want to do something for them, or someone will contact me. But a lot of it would be an idea, like, I heard the song "Time in a Bottle," and I was like, I want to do a PSA regarding this, which is what my recent video was.
Oh, it's a great video.
Yeah, and so I actually have one coming up for that. Or it'll, like, when the MLG was doing that thing, since there's a big, like, it was like a landmark event of, hey, you know, this is the first time, you know, MLG is covering this. I wanted to do something with, like, shoutcasting over it, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's how that came about. And then everything else is just kind of, it's just as I think of it. The two exceptions are the community montage and then the Silonix video, so.
Okay. And the last question from In the West is, why the bandana?
I don't really want to answer that, but I do wear a bandana like every single day. That or a hat. I don't wear the hat so much on stream, but I wear the bandana. I guess the real reason, and I guess I might as well say it sometime, is whenever I've worked new places, I've always done something like, hey, this is. I always wore a hat at one place, and I've always liked, I guess, hat accessories, head accessories. Never sunglasses. That just makes you look like a creep. But and I've worn bandanas in the past, but I sat down and was like, I'm just going to wear it on stream. And then it kind of became a running thing where I'm just not going to take it off. It causes people to kind of wonder about it and ask questions.
Makes them stay.
Yeah. At one point I was saying I had a tattoo on my forehead and all this extra stuff. But I got to say, I did take it off on stream one time.
Did you? Are you
Yes.
bald?
Am I bald? You can see my hair above it, man.
Oh, can you? I've never been to your stream.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I wear it as a headband, not like a biker bandana.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like bandana, like
No,
all
no,
the
no,
way
no.
over, totally cover,
I wear it
total
as a
coverage.
headband. So what happened is I said, if I get to my donation goal, and I wasn't like, I'm not trying to push for money at all. It was
Yeah.
just like, hey, if it happens, one of my viewers, very dedicated, decided, hey, I'm going to donate all the money. So then the
Wow.
chat turned into take it off. Take it off. They took it off, and then some people were like the whole like, oh my god, it's like divine. Other people were just like talking crap, and I realized after turning off the stream, I was talking to my mom actually. I shot.
Thanks, Capass.
And I realized I just took my clothes off for money. So it was a bit of a
A sudden realization.
yeah, that was like a little uncomfortable. But
I just
sure
take
enough,
off an article of my clothing for some person on the internet just gave me money.
I've done worse, I suppose. But yeah.
Not worse. Oh man. So these next questions come from Neros. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but I'm trying to read and dribble at the same time. What kind of editing software do you use?
I started out using Premiere and After Effects. Premiere you can use for a more blocky kind of just base cut. Like if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to do like a 10-minute long clip, it's good for just blocking things out. But After Effects is more your specialized. Hey, I want this filter or I want this effect. Thus the After Effects. But I use just purely After Effects now.
Okay.
And that's one thing that I get asked a lot is like, why are my videos so short? Is I'm a firm believer in leave people wanting more. You don't want to bore the viewer. You don't want someone to come into it and be like, when is this going to end? And leave, 3/4 of the way through it. Because a lot of times you want to end on like a high note. Optimally, the whole thing's a high note. But, you can't always have it like that. So I try to keep mine around 2 minutes just for people like, I want to see the next one. And because some of the editing takes a long time. Like the Chinio video.
Yeah, that looked exhausting. I watched it earlier today.
Yeah, so during the stream, I did all the dirt and everything, and that dirt alone took like a day. And I was just like, I'm never doing something high intense like that again. Sure enough, I did the Time Warp video right after that, and I was just like, I'm stupid.
Yeah, that looked like that. That looked just Because I've done a little bit of After Effects, and I've done a little bit of editing back when I went through an editing phase, and I realized that it's just a lot of tedious work. And after watching that, I have a basic idea of how it works. And that just looked absolutely awful. Just looked very difficult. Trying to keep things all, uniform and the same and making sense logically. Anyways, so how long from conception to uploading to YouTube does it take, like generally, a project?
See, this is hard because since I work a lot and we're like in crunch time, a lot of factors play in. But if I was...
I don't want to talk about my backflip. Anyways.
If I sat down, let's say this is my full-time job, I could get it done in 5 days. Before it was like 3 days. It depends on what type of montage. If it's like a player highlight and I know going in, this is what I want for, because I have a certain format I work with of how I want my videos to play out. But for like the primary, graphic, if I know going into that, I can probably do it all in a weekend if I just pull like, full days of work. So.
Okay. So
that spans about 2 weeks with work and all that jazz.
So, what exactly? This is just kind of a random question. What exactly do you do at your job? Like, what's a normal day look like?
Environment artist, or in this case, world builder. Essentially, I'm building the environments for the characters. In a movie, it'd be like, oh, hey, you're building the cars, the buildings, pretty much the set.
Okay.
And then you have like character animators who go and obviously animate the characters, and then the effects, which are doing that, lighting, so on and so forth. So I'm just kind of building the environment. So like, let's say you took Rocket League here, I'd build the stadium and everything around there.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I'd texture it, model it, but I wouldn't do any of the lighting or anything like that. So
That's cool. So that's all the questions that we had from the community and of my own. So since we're in the middle of a game, we'll just kind of play out the game and just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Is there any questions you have for me? Is there anything topic that you specifically want to talk about? Just general playing and talking.
I mean, there's not like too many things that stand out to me because some days. I mean, there's certain things I'm trying to be very thankful to the community. I find that's because without them, I wouldn't really be able to. I mean, their response and their viewing. I mean, I could watch my own video 10,000 times, but what's good for that? I don't have that much time on my hands. No, but I do like everyone's feedback. They're always like there's outlying. It's funny enough though, and that's the biggest thing with like all this. If you're part of the community, is that I'll have boatloads of positive things like hey, fantastic this, fantastic that. That's great. That's awesome. I love it. It means the world to me. There's always that one person who's just like, oh, you're shit. And that's the one that always stands out to me. I'm like, maybe I am shit.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to get past that sometimes. You're just like glaring at it, and you're like, ugh.
I spent 20 hours trying to make this look nice. What did I miss? Did I miss something? Am I really that bad at? Yeah, it's just a lot of insecurity. It's really interesting how amidst all the positivity, it's easy to pick out the negativity and stick to it.
There's actually a scientific study for that, but yeah, I know it's definitely a little brutal. No, but I mean, everyone's been very positive. I'm surprised at how positive things are. I actually used to do YouTube stuff before this. I don't share that channel. It was like Minecraft related. I did
oh yeah,
creative building stuff, and actually that was positive as well. But I kind of just stopped because after playing 8,000 hours of that game, I was like, I'm done. And then this game came out. Actually, I can talk about how I got into Rocket League.
Okay, perfect.
I made a post a while back, kind of my process through it, and actually it was for the 100,000 subscriber, kind of anniversary, if you will. Or not anniversary, just kind of landmark. And what happened was, people asked, hey, were you playing in SARP and all that different stuff? And I said, no. What happened was about 3 hours after the game came out, I was on Steam and I was like, well, this is neat. I was between jobs, which is why I have so many hours.
That's why.
Until end of September, I didn't have a job, and so played a lot. And then people at work play a lot too, so I'm playing there. But what happened was I found the game and I was like, hey, this is interesting. And it kind of, and I was having a hard time getting into stories. Like I'm having a hard time getting into Witcher, for instance. It's a game of the year by 166 awards and all this different stuff. But with this, if I don't read the story, it's it's just a hack and slash at that point.
I agree.
And it's kind of catered to a more, maybe, I don't say ADD, but kind of more, yeah, ADD kind of, it's 5 minutes, just fast-paced, it's beautiful, it's great. And I was like, I'll play it, and I jumped into a game, and I remember the people in the game, and one of them was High Defined. He's a streamer. He's actually trying to make a living at streaming. He's a great guy, actually in the same industry that I'm in, and it was really interesting, and looking back, it was really kind of nice to see everyone who's just trying to figure things out. Like in the middle of a game, someone's like, "You can double jump." We're like, "What?" Because no one played the tutorial. They're like, "Just jump right in," and yeah, it was really captivating, kind of watching that. And from there, I met Sykes and Bowser, and they kind of had their own little community thing going on.
Nice shot.
Thank you. And I asked them one day, and they were pretty good, at the time. And about 2 weeks in, we were able to hit aerials pretty consistently, and that was still, people were like, "What?" Oh
yeah.
And that's why if you look at the up and away video, if you posted that now, people are like, okay, you're just up in the air. But before, people were like, holy shit, how are you, etc. And we did that video, and I asked them both of them and said, hey, do you want to do this? And that progressed, and that got a great response. So I reached out to, at the time, the global rank 1, which is Stoney. He was.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he was better than Kronovi, or if he's really good, but he's not as good.
He was the first Rocketeer. He just had a bunch of play time.
Exactly, but he's still very good. And he played on 300 ping, which is even more of a feat. And I reached out to him, and someone's like, "Oh, he's a very mean person." He wasn't mean at all. I reached out to him, said, "Hey, I want to make a montage about your player highlight." He goes, "All right, sure." and I was learning things as I was doing this. From the first one, it's don't fast forward clips, don't change the speed of them. All right, so I went in and someone's like, maybe try jump cutting, which is what I did in Sony's. People are like, no, that's too much. I don't like that. Around the third one, that was the Cosmic Aftershock. I reached out to Gibbs and said, hey, I would like to make a video about you. And I didn't reach out to Kronovi or anything because it's one of those things where he was still like getting very popular. Everyone's just like Kronovi, bowing down. People are like, oh my god, I saw Kronovi, like I saw like a Kronovi like shirt or something. Everyone's like freaking out. They're like, I saw him on the street, and people are fainting. And so I said to Gibbs, hey, Gibbs is about 10 years older than they both are, like Sad Jr. and Kronovi.
Who is Gibbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, he's like, all right, sure. And I think at that point, that really took off. That is, I think that and my PSA video are my currently like the most liked videos. Like, I think the Cosmic Aftershock one has like 1,000 likes and only like 8 dislikes.
It's ridiculous. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is the name. If you have like, oh my god, Kronovi, and it's part of it. But around there, I had to make sure I did not screw that up because no one would have forgiven me on that if I had butchered that. So I spent a lot of time. And I did that, and then from there, things kind of kept progressing further and further, and then I think I did a bowling video after that. So I wanted to switch it up. I didn't want to keep doing player highlights. But the thing is, it started out small of me being able to, like, once I kind of made a name for myself of, hey, this person's capable of doing this, I was able to reach out, and Gibbs invited me to a Skype chat that we currently have. It started out, I was probably the 12th person in that chat. Like, I don't think it was like Sad Jr. was in there. And it consists of all there's like devs, there's the pros, content creators, casters, everything in there. Just so we can all talk and be like, hey, this is what we're up to. This is, I need some help filming this, guys, or we need like some teammates, or this is our idea for power rankings, everything. And from that point, I had access to pretty much anyone I needed to talk to. And I guess I don't want to say the rest is all history because that just is like a shitty way of closing it. It's like the one thing led to another. It's like, yeah, Hitler was born. One thing led to another. Like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I think there was a stand-up skit by not Jim Jeffries. Anyways, but no, it was a really unique experience. And the biggest thing for me, though,
I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, continue.
That was my fault too. But the biggest thing that I constantly say thank you to everybody is just. It was remarkable for me to be able to see just the birth of everyone's like careers. I was able to see Shalthus go from, hey guys, I'm just making this video on YouTube of me just randomly casting, to
Shalthus.
Shit, guys, ESL just pulled me on. I was able to see one of the greatest people in this community is Uhtred, for instance. He was so generous. Unfortunately, he had to kind of back out for some reasons. But he kicked off so many people's careers, so many streamers, like all of Cosmic Aftershock, all these different guys, and helped so much. And it really was remarkable. And it's nice to be able to see everyone like get their breaks. So like with Low 5 is from the beginning, I've supported him. Maybe not direct from the beginning, but whoops,
Close.
sorry about that.
All good.
But I tuned into Low 5 and maybe had like a couple thousand followers, and I was like, hey, I really like this guy, not in a weird sense, but I was like, I want to see him succeed. And so I directed some people to do giveaways on his channel and whatnot. And then recently he just got the featured video on Rocket League, which I think is remarkable. And I mean, just things like that. Nice block.
Thanks. Oh, my bad. I just kind of sat there.
All good. But no, I think that's been the biggest thing for me. I feel like if I joined the community now, I'd have a hard time getting to where I'm currently at.
Yeah.
But in the future, I mean, I think fun things come out this month. I'm working on a video that I can't really talk about. And then for February is going to be the community montage with. There is a surprise for it. Don't want to say it on here.
Can you hint at the surprise? Is it a user? Is it a game mode?
It is a community montage, and it is. I guess I'll say it's a user.
Okay.
If you want to guess.
You heard it. You heard it here, folks. There's a surprise in the community
Whatever, I don't
montage.
care. So
and
pretty
it's
much what
a
it is
user.
that Fisha did the very first community montage for SARP.
Yep.
He actually did a couple of them. 40 minutes long. I asked him before the community montage if I almost had his blessing because I didn't want to step on any toes. He's like, yeah, no problem. Well, it's been kind of back and forth, and this is why it's been delayed, is we both have very distinct styles. And I was like, you know, what if we did like an almost epic rap battle type thing where we went back and forth of our styles? So he and I are both editing the community montage in our respective styles and going back and forth.
That's awesome.
So that should be fun. Best of both worlds, I suppose.
That's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be great.
I'm looking forward to it. So that'll be out in February, and then I'll be doing a PSA video before that, which takes like a weekend.
I love the AFK. I love the AFK video.
The next one I think is probably the music was too appropriate for that, but nice.
My bad.
But this one will probably be more applicable for everybody. But
It's so funny. All right, guys, we gotta win this. Yeah, Seismic, you there?
am I there?
Oh no. Who was it that wasn't there? I can't remember. In the video, who was it that was AFK?
Oh, no, that was me.
It was you. Okay.
Low 5 and
Yeah.
Classics decided to tune in for that one. So I'm kind of doing the PSA series with them, and Rocket League
Sweet.
Central's sponsoring it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Whoop.
Yeah, Jimmy, is there anything you want to know?
Anyone in chat that has any questions, things you want to know from Seismic White?
I saw Pluto's question on Reddit, and I was laughing.
Right. Yes. How do you get your jawline so defined?
He brings up that like every time he'll jump in the stream and ask me that. It's just I messaged him on Skype. I was like, "Damn you!" He starts just laughing.
Yes! Mind game successful! That was amazing!
I was gonna block that, and you're just gonna look like a complete fool.
I know, but watch this. That was amazing. It actually worked.
That was pretty good.
Ah.
Yeah, I told the one thing that I'm kind of curious on the back. I might do 2 community montages though, one for pros, one non. The current one's gonna be no pros. I say that because I constantly work with them and do stuff for them, and I don't want them to be overshadowed. Like, oh, here's Kronovi, and here's some guy in silver too. Ah,
I know Wizard King did ask, how old are you?
I'm 22.
22? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 18, so.
22, male. I'm in Texas. Like
Male.
ASL thing.
Looking for female? No.
Yeah. But then I started streaming because people were like, you know, hey, how do you do this? But it's pretty funny. I've seen an influx of the one thing that I guess the trademark is that I use black bars and I use a vignette. And the reason for that is that it creates a widescreen perspective, and I think it looks a lot cleaner.
I agree.
Now I've seen like a lot more people do that, which is not a problem. I like it. It's almost like flattery, like, hey, you know. But I've seen a lot more people do that, and I was like, okay, no, that works. If I can help the community, you know, in any regard, so
Nice.
I'll set up.
Nice.
But I will be at PAX East, and as I said, anybody who, the first 10 people that find me get a bandana.
Wow, what a promotion. A free bandana.
And actually, the one other thing is that I'm doing is I'm making one-off shirts for certain people. Like, I'm making,
That's a bummer.
0 second.
0 seconds.
I'm making a different shirts for different people. So I'm making a low 5 shirt. I'm making a Gibbs as Mr. Potato Head. And so I'll make one shirt, and then randomly I'll give, like, not that shirt, but I'll make one for that person, whoever I decide to give them to. So,
Oh, nice.
but yeah.
So yeah, that's everything that that we've got for this episode of the Rocket League interviews. So thank you for hanging out in the stream. Sure does mean a lot. This video will be on YouTube. I will be highlighting this, and it'll be linked to YouTube after the stream. So follow me on Twitter for when that goes live. If you've just kept joining me now, thank you so much, Seismic, for doing this. It does mean a lot, man.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Have a great rest of the night, brother.
You too.
So yes, you just missed or just left the Rocket League interview series number 7. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, guys.